Hi my dear students, welcome back to the class. So far we were discussing about trigonometry, but we discussed about angles at the first. We defined an angle, right? Also we defined two important, very important measures of angle, which are radian measure as well as degree measure. Of course you remember those things, right? You learned that 1 degree is nothing but 1 by 360th of a revolution. So we defined the entire complete revolution of a ray as 360 degrees. Also we defined that for an arc of length 1 unit subtends an angle of 1 radian in a unit circle, or we generalized that result as any arc of length r unit subtends an angle r radians at the center if the radius of the circle is r units. Also we modified the result as for an arc of length L unit and circle of radius R unit, the angle subtended at the center will be L by R. You remember all these things. If you forgot these things, just go back to the video class and watch it well. Then now in this class we are going to derive a special thing, the relation between a degree measure and a radian measure. So we discussed a degree measure, radian measure, but now we don't know how to transform something in degree measures to radian measures or vice versa, something in radian measures in degree measures, right? So in this class we are going to transform the degree measures to radian measures as well as the radian measures to degree measures. So in order to define or in order to discuss about the relationship between an angle measure and a degree measure, we should begin with a ray. Suppose that this is my ray. I told you that when I rotate this to a new position, this side of the ray will become initial side and the new position will become terminal side, isn't it? Let me name the magnitude of the ray as 1 unit. You know that a vector has a magnitude which is equal to the distance between the initial and the terminal point. Let it be 1 unit here. So it can be 1 centimeter, 1 meter, anything, 1 unit. Now I told you that when I rotate the entire ray in a one complete revolution and reaches back in this position, the angle formed at the center will be nothing but 360 degree. You know that. So because 1 degree is nothing but, we know that 1 degree is nothing but 1 by 360th of an entire revolution, right? Entire revolution, right? So it is clear that 360 degree is equal to 1 complete revolution then, right? So 1 degree is 1 by 360th of a revolution, which means that if you multiply the left hand side and right hand side with 360, here it will become 360 degree, here it will become 360 by 360 equal to 1 complete revolution, which means that 1 complete revolution is nothing but 360 degree, isn't it? Now we are going to find what will be the radian measure in this circle. See, when we rotate the ray about its initial point, actually we get a circle, right? Like this imaginary circle. Actually this circle is imaginary because we are only rotating this ray. Whatever, we get a circle like this and it has radius equal to 1 unit. So when we rotate a ray of magnitude 1 unit, we get a unit circle, right? Now I defined 1 radian as angle subtended at the center by a ray of radius 1 unit. Angle subtended at the center by an arc of length 1 unit in a unit circle. That is the exact definition, in a unit circle. So we defined 1 radius as the angle subtended at the center by an arc of 1 length in a unit circle. See, here we obtained a unit circle. So 1 radian is nothing but the angle subtended at the center by an arc of length 1 unit. Suppose that this is the arc of length 1 unit, then 1 radian is this. Okay. Now observe that what happens if we cover the entire arc, or if we consider the entire circle as an arc. So here if we consider the entire circle as an arc, then arc length is nothing but 2 pi into r, right? Circumference of the circle will be the arc length if we consider the entire circle as an arc. So here r is equal to 1 unit, therefore arc length is equal to 2 pi units. Is it clear? Now since an arc of length r units subtends an angle r radians at the center of a unit circle, we know that an arc of length 2 pi will subtend an angle of 2 pi radians at the center. We discussed it, right? See, if an arc of length 1 unit subtends an angle 1 radian at the center, then arc of length 2 pi units will subtend 2 pi radians at the center. That's what we have written here. So always remember that for a unit circle, an arc of length 2 pi units. See, 2 pi units is nothing but the entire circle is the arc here, will subtend an angle of length 2 pi radians, which means that the entire angle formed here is nothing but 2 pi radians, right? See, when we consider this length as a ray and rotate about its initial point to reach back to the original position, the angle formed is 360 degree. And when we consider this entire thing as a unit circle and then the arc of length 2 pi units, that is the complete circle subtends an angle 2 pi radians, which means that 2 pi radians is equal to 360 degree. Very important result. How we obtained this? When we considered this as a ray of unit length, we get after complete rotation the angle formed at the center as 360 degree. And when we considered the same thing as a unit circle, we got that the angle subtended at the center by the entire circle, which is an arc of length 2 pi, subtend an angle 2 pi radians. Therefore, the angle formed at the center must be equal in both the cases. So, we get 2 pi radians is equal to 360 degree. Very, very important result when we enter into the chapter trigonometry. So, always remember this result as a primary result in your basic mathematics. So, never forget this. 2 pi radians is 360 degree. It is very important in the sense, you know that centimeters and the relation between centimeter and kilometer, centimeter and meter, kilogram and gram. Likewise, this is very, very, very important relationship in mathematics. So we shall move to the further explanations. Therefore, now we have 2 pi radians is equal to nothing but what? 360 degree, isn't it? Which implies 1 radian is equal to 360 degree by 2 pi, which is equal to 180 by pi. So we have 1 radian is equal to 180 by pi. Also note that we can find 1 degree from here. 1 degree, or you can write 1 degree here like this. Okay, whatever. 1 degree is equal to 2 pi by 360, right? So it is nothing but pi by 180 radians. So this is a very fundamental relationship between radian as well as degree measure. 1 radian is equal to 180 by pi degree, whereas 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radian. These two are very, very, very important conversions, 1 radian and 1 degree. So now let me ask you a question. What will be 30 degree in radians? See, we know that 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radian, isn't it? So we have 30 degree is equal to pi by 180 into 30 radian. What we have done here is we multiplied both the sides of the equation with 30. So the left side become 30 into 1 degree, 30 degree. Right side become this. Now we can cancel this. It will become pi by 6 radian. See, 30 degree is therefore nothing but pi by 6 radian. Now let me ask you, what is 60 degree? It is very simple. See, we have the relationship, so we can multiply both the sides with 60. Therefore, the right side becomes pi by 180 into 60 radians, isn't it? It is therefore equal to pi by 3 radians on cancelling. So 60 degree is nothing but pi by 3 radians. Similarly, we can form what is 90 degree. It is nothing but pi by 180 into 90 radian. So it is equal to pi by 2 radians. Simple. So what is 180 degree? It is also in the same way we have pi by 180 into 180 radians. It is equal to pi radians. See, 180 degree is nothing but pi radian. Similarly, what is 360 degree? It is also in the same manner. We can multiply both the sides of the equation with 360. Then it will become pi by 180 into 360 radians, right? It is equal to 2 into pi radian. See, 360 degree is nothing but 2 pi radian. Always remember that in a similar manner we can always find the degree measure corresponding to the radian measure, or the radian measure corresponding to the degree measure, by using these two relationships. Similarly, can you find what is pi by 4 radian in degree? So we want to find pi by 4 radian in degree. See, we have 1 radian equal to 180 degree by pi. Therefore, pi by 4 radian is equal to 180 degree by pi into pi by 4. We multiplied both the side of the equation with pi by 4. See, here we have 1 radian. So in order to find pi by 4 radian, we must use this relationship. Multiplying both the sides with pi by 4, we will get this. Now we can cancel here like this. It is equal to 45 degree, right? See, what we have done here is we just found out the degree measure corresponding to the radian measure as well as the radian measure corresponding to the degree measure. See, always remember these two relationship, very important relationship. Whenever you are asked to find the radian measure given a degree measure, use this relationship. Because we have 1 degree here, if you are given with 25 degree, corresponding radian measures can be found out by multiplying both the sides of the equation which connects 1 degree and radian. See, 1 degree, whenever you are given in degree measures, you have to convert that into radian measure. Use this relationship. If whenever you are given in radians and you have to convert it into degree measure, use this relationship. Multiply both the sides of the equation using the given radian so that you will get the corresponding degree measure. Now we shall do an example. Our question is convert 40 degree 20 minute into radian measures. So we have to convert this thing into radian measures. Of course, note that we know that 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radians. We know this result, so keep in mind. Now we have 40 degree 20 minutes. So 20 minutes should be converted into degrees so that we can substitute the entire thing into this relationship, isn't it? We know that 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes, right? So we have 1 minute is equal to 1 by 60 degree, isn't it? So we have 20 minutes. Multiplying both the sides with 20, it will become 20 by 60 degree is equal to 1 by 3 degree. So what is this? It is equal to 40 1 by 3 degree, isn't it? We can make it into a proper fraction like this. 40 into 3 is equal to 120. So it will become 121 by 3 degrees, isn't it? So we have to convert this into radian measures. So we shall multiply both the sides with this to get 121 by 3 degree is equal to pi by 180 into 121 by 3 radians is equal to 180 into 3 is equal to 540. Now it is equal to 121 pi. So 40 degree 20 minute is nothing but 121 pi by 540 radians. So that's it. we can easily find the radian measures corresponding to any degree measures like this. So I hope you understood the concepts very well. If you have any doubt regarding the degree measure, radian measure, or the relationships between the degree and radian measures, just ask me to personally or comment here. Also note that you have to exercise a lot of questions from your textbook or from the web resources, so that you are very much expert in converting a measure in degree or an angle in degree to radian measure, or an angle in radian measure to degree measure. You may feel confused, why should we learn these things? Because now we are going to define what is a trigonometric function. So far you have learned trigonometry as the trigonometric ratio. Sin x is a trigonometric ratio, cos x is a trigonometric ratio, etc. But now itself, from now onwards, you are going to learn trigonometry in terms of trigonometric functions. Sin x is transformed from trigonometric ratio to a trigonometric function. Now you are going to learn everything, every trigonometric ratio you have learned so far as a ratio of opposite side and adjacent side of a right angle triangle. Now you are going to learn those things as functions, trigonometric functions. So when we learn those things as functions, you have to convert any degree measure to radian measure and vice versa. So very much that's a very interesting as well as very important session. Now we are going to discuss about what is trigonometry, or from where this sin x, cos x, tan x, etc. came from. And now in the next class we are going to discuss the basic identities in trigonometry as well as the basic trigonometric values. So in the next class we shall meet again and we shall discuss the basic concepts in trigonometry very well. Till then, wait for the next class. Bye bye.